What is up, guys?
What's up?
We got a new thing, but we'll talk about that in another video. Today we are doing a Z1 lightweight crank pulley kit install.
AMS alternator pulley.
Along with the AMS lightweight alternator pulley.
Some kind of idler delete.
And the idler delete spacer. So we got this kit. If you want to grab this, I'm gonna show you guys what we got. Now, the kit itself is basically this Z1 lightweight crank pulley, which is pretty light.
Whatever gets thrown on the ground.
So this is the pulley itself. They advertise it at 2 pounds. I think someone weighed it and it comes in just under. So that's pretty nice. OEM idler spacer.
Yep.
2 belts. So we have the AC compressor and the alternator pulley belts. And then I also got this OEM, brand new OEM crank pulley bolt, because if you're gonna do it, it's $9, like buy the bolt. And then that was my logic for this too. This is the AMS lightweight crank alternator pulley. It is super light. And it was like $38, and I figure we're already there for all of it, so let's just do it.
And why did you pick all this fun stuff up?
Oh, because I will post a clip for you guys, but this thing squeals like a pig on startup.
And also summer's coming up.
Yes, that's the other good one. So the Z1 advertises this kit as a, so Indy's gonna go show off his new little pickup, but Z1 advertises this kit as a way to basically pick up power. Now, whether or not it actually picks up power doesn't seem to be like super proven on the dyno. It's more like butt dyno things. But the big thing that people express as far as like a benefit for the lightweight pulley kit is that they feel less of a power loss when the AC is on. And we're in SoCal. It feels like it's gonna be a hot summer. I'm gonna have the AC on all the time. I don't really wanna have a loss on power. So it was kind of a 2-for-1. It was get rid of the squeal on startup and get some mitigation on the power loss when you have the AC running. So then I decided, obviously we'll do the alternator pulley too, since we're already there. We also got some rain guards that I'm letting kind of like loosen up in the sun. We'll talk about that in another video because those are probably gonna need some time. But our first step here is to get this crank pulley bolt broken. Now, since Indy has a ton of tools, fortunately I have access to this gigantic Snap-on breaker bar and a 19. You can use any breaker bar, obviously. Snap-on is great though. And then the recommendation is to basically put it in 6th, so your highest gear, so you can like put down the lowest amount of torque onto the wheels, because the wheels will spin when you try to break this bolt loose, and rip the e-brake. So we are in 6th gear right here. E-brake is ripped, and we have, just so you guys know, this is a 3/8 short and pretty long breaker bar. I'd say that's like an 18-inch breaker bar. So we're gonna get into getting this, let's see, where were we fed? There we go. We are on, and we're gonna try to get this popped loose. Now, a lot of guys try to get this from the bottom. You totally can. But if you have a long enough breaker bar, just get it from the top, So let's give it a try. Okay, so with that giant 1/2 inch, not 3/8, I said 1/2 inch, I was able to break the crank pulley bolt. Oh, hey.
Hi.
How you doing down there?
Hi.
What?
Hi.
I didn't know you were down there.
Yeah.
I didn't notice you. So
I didn't notice.
Oh, I didn't see that. So we're actually going to save the alternator pulley for a day where we can actually take the alternator off, because
I can impact it.
We can impact it, A, and B, the oil filter is in the way, so we are going to do an oil change at the same time. So that'll be a future date. We are now at the step where we've removed that, or loosened that 14 that's right in the center of the frame. And now, Indy, that's the crank pulley bolt right there. Now Indy's already loosened the adjuster, so we've already got some slack going in here, right? Yep, quite a bit of slack.
Yep, so now we gotta get, here I can point to it, right here. You're gonna have to loosen this bolt so I can get to the adjuster right here.
Sweet. We've loosened both of the tensioners and adjusters. We have pulled the belt off. Basically, you just keep loosening the adjuster until the belt is loose enough to just pull right off. You may want to take a picture to, like, you know, see where your belt path is, but there are a ton of diagrams online, so if you lose your place, don't really worry about it. So now we are going to we have the bolt off of the main crank pulley, so we're going to pry it off. Some breaker bars and some flatheads. All right, so
Whatever, bruh.
come on, man. So that idler pulley spacer delete thing was kind of a pain. You can see these scoring on it because we hammered it in with a pry bar.
It worked.
Yeah, use a pry bar to get it seated. If you can, just really crank on it, get it seated, then use a hammer and a pry bar and just knock it into place. Pretty straightforward.
It's a little bit of like a lining, trying to get the bolt through, but like just don't try to force the bolt. Just,
yeah,
if it doesn't go through, pull the bolt back out, just kind of tap it around a little bit.
Yeah, don't strip it like I'd like to do.
Yeah.
Maybe. Now the crank pulley is on. Something that you guys should keep in mind, this could trip you up. As far as this notch is concerned, it's kind of a pain in the ass. To make your life a little easier, you may want to consider lubricating the new pulley just on where it presses in. But you see this notch right here? There's also, you know, a male version of that notch on the motor. So what you're going to want to do is kind of find it. And then what I did was I took the notch and I kind of tilted the pulley to favor the notch, and then I just kind of wiggled it until it felt like it locked into place, and then I just pressed it onto the motor like so. And then you take the crank pulley bolt, whether it's a new one or an old one, feed it in, and then slowly tighten it until you are lined up. The tightening part will, you know, obviously come once the belts are back on. But now the pulley's on, the idler pulley delete spacer is on as well, so time to get the belts on. Okay, we are feeding the new belts on. You know, you guys just, if you care, face your Z1 logos. You're already there, you know. Sometimes people will like be so concerned with getting the install done that they'll forget to like put something facing the, you know, a good direction, and then they'll be like, damn it, I did all this work, and then be like, oh, whatever. So, you know, just something to pay attention to if you guys care. You're gonna have to loosen the adjuster quite a bit to be able to get these belts on, and then throw them on and then tighten it up. Make sure that you tighten your tensioners, and then we just have the crank bolt to go. All right, the car is fully down, coming down on the jack stand nice and slow. Adjusters are tightened. Z1 belts are facing forward, which is pretty cool. All that is left is to tighten the crank pulley bolt. So we're gonna do it the way we broke it, with that 1/2 inch ratcheting on a 19. Get that baby real nice and tight. I think it's like 160 foot-pounds, but like, are you guys really gonna just go tight as heck? Not financial advice, not mechanical advice. What?
140 foot-pounds.
140 foot-pounds. So I'm gonna do my best to match that on like the row machine and stuff. JK, I'm just gonna get it tight, and we're basically buttoned up, and we'll start it up and see how it is.
Here's to no squeal.
Here is to no squeal. Let's see what we got.
Make sure you're not in gear anymore either.
Well, here we go. Down there, the AMS pulley will look good once we get it on. So we are good. Mischief managed. Let me get the car off. Okay, so we had shot originally a different outro, but after 1 week we wanted to give you actually an update on driving impressions and things to keep in mind for the lightweight crank pulley install. So really just two things. One, really make sure that your pulleys, your belts are tensioned properly, and there may be a little bit of a warm-up stretch that happens with the main belt.
Yes.
After basically a few days of driving, and then I gave it like a good solid day or two where I wasn't driving it, it like gave the craziest shriek on a super cold start, and it was like longer than the initial shriek that I would like the squeal that I was getting before. So I was like, well, we got to come back and tension it. And sure enough, it was just a little bit more than that, 3/8 slack loose than we wanted. So we just retensioned it. The other thing I wanted to mention was driving impressions. So the day that we installed it, when I left, car was warm, took off down the street, punched it in second, and I was like, okay, feels about the same. And then I looked down and I realized that my AC was on. So I was like, huh, okay.
Made a difference.
So it did make a difference in terms of like power loss mitigation when the AC is running. So I will say
specifically what that is.
That's kind of what a lot of people said was like the main benefit of this kit.
Okay.
So
and that's down to the crank pulley specifically, but in conjunction with removing that that additional.
Yeah, I think the idea is that the lighter crank pulley kind of deloads the system when the AC compressor kicks on.
Sure.
As an accessory belt, and then also the main reason why you pull the idler pulley in general, because some VQs actually already come with that pulley removed, but you remove it in general because it's not a necessary component. It's really just to keep the belt guided, but it doesn't need to be. It's kind of redundant, and over time, as it gets old and rusts, it does seize up and actually can cause issues with your crank. So a lot of people delete it anyways.
Well, it's kind of funny because it is quite literally very redundant, because like when you look at it and where it's at, I mean, I get it, but also like said, like it doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be there. Like you look at the motor right now and you're like, okay, cool. But wait, where was the idler pulley? And it's like, yeah, it was right here. That's where the spacer was. Okay, so now you've got this belt running here. Nice tension this time. You know, got our Z1 logo's face still. But either way, you know, happy with the kit so far. Was a little surprised about the squeal. It
was a fair amount, I'm gonna assume, stretched that we needed to then retension.
Yeah.
So like keep in mind, you'll probably have to retension it if you get the exact same, because like we don't know who makes the Z1 belts. I'm not saying.
Yeah, we don't know if they're good or bad.
Yeah.
I just didn't look into it enough. Ideally, it's Gates. I don't know if it is or not, but
or Bando or something like that.
Yeah, and also, it also needs to be said that it is entirely possible that I may not have tightened down the tensioner bolt enough, and maybe some slack had been built. But I'd find that hard to believe because the adjuster bolt would have had to have loosened a bunch.
Back out a bunch.
So it does seem much more likely that the belt had stretched after a few drives. So,
which, I mean, it does happen. It's not, you know,
yeah,
out of the realm of just like normal stuff. So.
For sure. So, all in all, I would say that this kit was definitely worth the buy. I definitely feel power loss mitigation with the AC. It looks cleaner now that idler pulley is gone. The Z1
a lot
pulley,
cleaner,
yeah,
actually.
It looks way cleaner.
Yeah,
for sure. So obviously the motor is still super messed up. We're working on running through it, but let us know what you guys thought of the video in the comments down below. And if you like the video, please make sure to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and we'll see you in the next one.
And we appreciate you guys.
And not squealing belts.
Not squealing belts.